So of course, you had a recent appearance on The Voice.
Oh my God, yes.
Tell us all about that, like the whole experience.
I mean, okay, so I was one of those people who was like, I'm never going on the X Factor, never going on The Voice. It just didn't feel like it was for me. Like, I don't know, should I be looking at you or looking at them? Like,
I mean, if you want to talk to the
just
audience, camera 2.
I'm trying to
over
figure
there,
out which one
the
to look
higher
at.
one. If
Yeah?
you want to speak to the audience, you can talk to
Right.
them.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
Whatever you want. Man.
It's good to look at the person because that's weird. That's weird.
That inanimate object.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was one of those people who was like, oh, I'll never go on a show like that. It's not for me. Da 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 da. And so I got approached by another competition who I'm not gonna name, but is one of the ones. And they were like, oh, we'd like to have you on. And I listened, and I was like, the producers got in contact with me, and then it was okay up until when they wanted to start like creating this sob story that I just wasn't here for.
Right, yeah.
They wanted to go down this route of like single mother, struggling mother. I was like, my mom is fully not single. My dad is fully alive. What we're not gonna do is go down this route. Yeah, they were trying to create like this sob story, and it just wasn't working for me. So, and something just didn't vibe well. So I after like a few conversations, like, no, I'm gonna turn it down. So I didn't. And then a year later, producers from The Voice got in contact with me, and they'd seen something on my Instagram, and they were like, "Oh, what's God, you'd be great. Would love to have you on." And I was like, "Okay." Had a conversation with my manager at the time, and we were like, "Do you know what? It's a singing competition. It's exposure at the end of the day. Like, there's also a challenge. Like, for me, it was like, I went on it because I was like, okay, I have music out, and I do tour, and I do perform, and I do all these wonderful things, but like." That part of your brain still sometimes feels like, are you actually good at what you do, or is it just like a delusion? And that was me kind of like, okay, do you know what? If you say you're good at this, go into a space where you're gonna be objectively, like critiqued for it. So we kind of thought, okay, you know what? This is a win-win. Like, if I don't get on, it's been an experience to learn from. If I do get on, it'd be an experience to learn from. So we did. I went down to London, did the audition, and then it was like a 6 weeks of like pressure of like, oh, we'll let you know, and it was just 6 weeks of just waiting for like a call. That was so horrible. That was so bad. It was like, oh yeah, you hear from us, and then 6 weeks of just like every other day. Yeah. So I just forgot about it. Right. And then one day at work, I got called. And they were like, oh yeah, hi Zahyon, we think that you'd be great for the show. Go on the show. I was like, fantastic. So the first part of the show is the blind auditions, which is the one where they turn, the chairs turn. Yeah. So you were like, you go on to the blind auditions. There was 100 people that go for the blind auditions, and they have to select 40, so 10 in each team. So that was already like big odds. Like 60 people were gonna go home. Yeah, man. Do you know what I mean? It's scary. So yeah, did the blind audition. Like, I don't even know how much of details do you want? Because I could go down the timeline of how crazy this was. I could give it like an overview.
I think, it's because I had this similar opinion to you of these shows. So I'd like to know sort of the ins and outs and what the experience is like. So please, go as in depth as you want, man.
Okay. So the blind auditions, it was very much like the process, you figure out what song you're gonna do, and then they've got a team of like good people. They're producers, but they focus on music, and then they kind of help you whittle down. They're really there to support you. I'm not gonna lie, I think the experience was really positive overall. So like, if anything comes across as negative, it's not because of that. It's just because of how I experienced it, not because of what they were very positive, very supportive. But yeah, so you select the song, you basically rehearse with the band because it's going to be recorded and it's TV, blah blah blah, and then you do your blind audition. And I did my blind audition, so I was there from 9 a.m. and I didn't get on till 10:45 p.m.
Man, that's a long day.
I was in a green room, so we had done some like extra filming outside, and all my family was here. Like they had to wait that time as well. Yeah, like we did some extra filming stuff and blah blah blah. Got there 9 a.m. Didn't get on to 10:45. I was the last one to go on the night, so they were tired. Yeah, of course. There was already like fatigue from the judges, from the coaches, And for me, it was just nerve wracking. Like you keep, like, basically you're in a green room with the other singers, and you never see them when they leave, because if they get on the show, they don't come back.
Okay.
And if they don't get on the show, they don't come back.
So you don't know.
You don't know what happened.
Right.
So you just constantly like hearing little things here and there in the studio, like, oh, do you remember so. Oh, actually, yeah, sorry, I didn't get through. And you're like, oh, and because obviously it got to a point, it's singers, isn't it?
Yeah,
There's a singer,
yeah.
so we were all just singing in the room, in the green room. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm not it. That, like, there's so many great they find the best singers that UK has to offer, like, hands down, than any other show. They really, really do find great singers.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like, oh my God, okay, so whatever I thought I was doing, that's child's play, because these people are singing, like, proper singing. So I was like, okay, cool. And then I was the last one, and I went on my rehearsal 4 days before, nailed it. Had a standing ovation from the entire production team. Like, they were like, oh my God, wow. Like, I felt like, oh, okay. Even if I don't get on the show, this is enough for me. These are industry people who know what's good music, who know what a great performer, great singer is. Like, and my rehearsal for the audition was, I did the song 3 times or however long it was, and I had a standing ovation from them. They didn't have to, but they did.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Nice,
so that for me was like, oh, I'm cool. Like,
it's all right.
This
all
is
good.
fine. Like,
Yeah.
I've got this singing thing. I can actually do it. I'm not just deluding myself. So that was 4 days before the day of the thing. Sore throat.
That's classic.
Sore throat. Had a bit of tonsillitis. On the day of the thing, I thought, fudge. I can't be I don't know if we can swear.
You can say whatever the hell you want,
just
man.
yeah. Sorry. I just caught myself.
Be real sensitive.
I'm used to this, like, because obviously when you're filming, like, you can't swear because
we're not like, you're used to like TV level, like you've got to do this and you got to do that. Here, anything goes.
Anything goes,
so
great.
Please,
so I can be myself.
let loose. Man.
This isn't like a family channel. I don't know.
I think legally we're not allowed nudity, and that's
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only
nudity.
thing.
Well, just
That's the only thing we can't
no,
do.
because you always have to kind of self-edit.
Of course, yeah, man.
But yeah, the day of, got to, it was my time to do my thing. Sore throat. I was on lemon and honey the whole day.
Yeah.
Got out, and you literally, it's so quick. You spend 18 hours, however long it was, waiting for 2 minutes of singing and a few minutes of like talking, and then that's it. So got on. I can already feel like, oh yeah, I'm not really on 100%. Started singing. My first note, I could hear. I was like, oh, I think the monitors weren't as loud as they were because the audience was louder.
Right. Yeah.
So the monitors from rehearsal they weren't as loud enough. So it was a struggle. First note, I sang "Glory" by John Legend. I was like, one day, and I was like, oh, and in my head I was like, oh, that's not it. But you have to power through.
Yeah, of course.
You're
man.
thinking you're on TV first of all, and there's 4 people behind that chair who could literally change your life potentially. And I just powered through, and I was singing the song, and nobody was turning, bro. Like, nobody was turning. I thought, I've just come to disgrace my entire family, disgrace myself.
So pressure,
The pressure. It's also like no one forced me. I brought myself to this.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Like, it was a case of no one asked me, no one forced me. I did this to myself, and I was so gutted. I was like, I kept singing. There was a bit in the song I thought, this is a turning point. Like, yes, like it's a high point. Surely they're gonna turn. Nobody turned. I thought. Well, so I thought, you know what? If I don't get a turn, just kill it. Just go ahead and just like, do my thing and just bounce. If it gets to air on TV, people know about me, I guess.
Yeah,
a few followers on Instagram, done. And then on the last second, and then if you watch the clip back, I do and I like just hold that note a bit longer. I'm like,
come on, son.
I hold the note a bit longer. And Tom Jones turned, and all the emotion just came. I was like, and I started crying. I don't know if you've seen the full video. I was like, and then I was
remember
like,
watching it, man.
Yeah.
Because I remember you were talking about
Whew.
it. So I watched it. I was
it
like,
was, yeah. So then he turned, and I was like, for me, I didn't have any preference because I was like, I can learn from each and every one of those people.
Of
Like,
course, man.
will.i.am has got his own thing. Ollie's got his own thing. Tom Jones got his own thing. Megan has got, like, they've all got things I can learn from. So I didn't really mind. But I knew, like, when it was Tom Jones, I was like, okay, I know I'm going to get 6 decades of experience of performing. He's 81 now or something like that.
Jeez.
And he can still sing
He's
and
got it,
out-sing.
Yeah.
All these youngins. I thought, oh, I'm definitely in a good space here. But in that moment, I'm thinking, oh, right, okay, turn. Oh, so there's more of this. So I was just I think my next 6 months or something just flashed before me. I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then he was talking, and then I was crying because I was like, I just lost. Like, it was a long day. I was stressed out. I didn't get a turn, or it didn't feel like I was getting a turn. So all that emotion just came out. I was just like, I'm just so grateful that you did, But for me, it was just validating. And he was like, he said, I think the question was like, why was I crying? I was like, no, because you can go on for so long and not really believe in yourself, like you're doing something, and it's just sometimes you get that extra validation from somebody that's just like, no, you're actually good, and it was like, no, you're great. I said, Tom Jones thinks I'm great. Everybody can suck it. Like, done. Tom Jones, like, I was like, suck it. Like, I don't need the show. That's it. I can write that down, print that, put down a t-shirt. Like, I'm like, Tom Jones thinks I'm sick. Done. And then you went and then did some interviews and stuff like that, and then you go home.
And that's it.
And then this is the part that was really, really bad. Because I took time off work and everything, so I had a whole week that I'd taken off work. All that high, it was such a build up. The day after, I had a emotional crash. Like,
right.
I broke down. And I think I at some point of it, because I use my social media to kind of be, I'm a big advocate for mental illness and mental health.
Yeah, of course, man.
So I at some point, I think it's still there in his catalog, and it's great to look back at it. But yeah, that day, like 4 or 5 days after that, I just had a crash. Like serious anxiety, like just serious depression.
Right.
Like, could not even get out of bed. Could not eat. Like, it was crazy, and I didn't realize what it was, and all the tools that I have with my therapist and all that kind of stuff did fuck all, did not work. Like, it was just that massive high. That moment was, it's just so exhilarating. And then you do interviews, and then off you go, and then it was like back to normal.
Yeah, that's
and
weird.
Also, this was pre-recorded, so nobody knew about it, so I couldn't tell anyone.
Right, okay. Yeah,
I couldn't tell my friends. I couldn't tell, like, everyone. The only people that knew about it were the people that were there, and I couldn't tell anyone. So I literally had a whole week of just like, I crashed, and I was just like, And I think for me, what I needed to learn from it, looking back, was life is there's gonna be more challenges like that in life, and I think now I'm able to kind of have a median state.
Yeah.
So I don't allow myself get to that point where I have a massive dip.
Yeah.
But you don't know that until you go through it. I had never been on TV like that before. Like, I didn't know what it felt like. It was new to me. And yeah, so I crashed, and then I kind of got out of it, and things got better. And then there was the next stage, and there was the battles and stuff, and that was great. I got to sing with one amazing singer, Vivian. If you get to see this, Vivian, hey Viv, amazing singer from London, beautiful tone. And then we carried on, and then I got through from that stage to the knockouts, which is like quarterfinals.
Yeah.
And I got to sing like a beautiful Sam Smith song, and all that was fantastic. And that was where I came off from the show, so I didn't go through after knockouts, and this was pre-recorded as well, and then Corona hit.
Right.
So it was like, oh shit. So it just got to this pinnacle, and then Corona was like, Corona came around like March, probably 8th February, and this is like March, February time. And I think I must have had Corona the first week, because I was in like a studio of like hundreds of people. And after I finished and I came back to Manchester, because this was in London,
Right.
I took back to Manchester, I was down for like a week and a half.
Okay.
The symptoms, I didn't have like, I had like 2 or 3 of the symptoms. Anyways, that was back then, but there was no test, so who knows. But Corona hit, and then I just had to carry on with life, because basically the show had to pause. There was semifinals and finals left,
Right.
and they had to pause. And what people don't know is we couldn't release music until a few months. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. Oh well, you could release music. Can't do nothing now. I'm not in a contract, but yeah, like we signed contracts.
Yeah.
We couldn't release music.
I remember you saying, man, because I remember we had a phone call, and I was like, "That's crazy."
Were you kind of aware of that before you'd signed a contract? You just accepted it, or was it?
We
a
just
bit
accepted because we
bombshell?
thought, it was 3 months after the final.
Mhm.
So regardless of wherever you kind of got off the show, 3 months after the final, you couldn't release music because you were
Yeah.
signed on the situation. Let's
Yeah.
not name names.
Yeah.
And back then it was like cool, it's fine. But what it didn't consider was a bloody pandemic
Yeah.
that wiped the entire world and made the entire world go on pause. So we were all just like, everyone was just like stuck, like couldn't release music until 3 months after the final. So the final didn't happen until like, I think like September, October.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
But
that's crazy.
it was, it was crazy. So that was like a weird space to be where
Of
like,
course.
I'm out of the show, but I'm still by law, by contract, not really out. It was weird. Anyways. It was weird. But yeah, the experience overall, like it was such a great learning experience. I got to like work with some great vocal industry like level vocal coaches.
Yeah.
Like I got to, really just test things out and really like figure out what my sound and my style is. This like, I just really learn more about myself and learn about my resilience and like what I can actually deal with. And I realized, you know what, if I can go through that, like, come at me, bro. Like,
Yeah, man, definitely.
do you know what I mean? So yeah, overall, in a nutshell, to bring that whole long story to a short, it was a great experience, learning experience, challenging. But yeah, like I think I would realistically I would do it again, because if I had the chance to relive that moment, I would do it again, because what I learned, you can't take that away from me. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Awesome.
Plus, Tim Jones follows me on Instagram. You know what I mean?
Thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast to catch up on new episodes every week. Also, check us out on our Facebook and Instagram at RecRooms, where you can find out about our other exciting music series. We also have this and all our other episodes of the podcast up on our RecRooms YouTube channel for your viewing pleasure. See you next time.